abandoned places have always fascinated me, and when I heard about the old mansion at the edge of town, my curiosity got the better of me. The locals whispered about its haunted past, claiming that strange occurrences took place within its decaying walls. Ignoring the warnings, I explored the mansion one chilly fall evening. The moon hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow on the overgrown path leading to the mansion's entrance. The air was thick with an ominous stillness as I approached the creaking front door. With each step, the crunching of leaves beneath my boots echoed through the desolate surroundings, creating an unsettling symphony. As I pushed open the rusty door, a musty odor enveloped me, filling my lungs with the scent of decay. The mansion's interior was shrouded in darkness, with only slivers of moonlight filtering through the cracked windows. My flashlight flickered to life, casting long shadows that danced across the faded wallpaper. The silence within was oppressive, broken only by the sound of my own footsteps. The air felt colder inside, and a shiver ran down my spine as I wandered through the labyrinthine corridors. Dust-covered furniture lay strewn about, frozen in time like the remnants of a forgotten era. As I ascended the grand staircase, an inexplicable chill settled in the air. The creaking floorboards beneath my weight added to the growing sense of unease. My flashlight revealed faded portraits lining the walls, their eyes following my every move. It felt as though the mansion itself was watching me. A distant sound echoed through the silence. A soft, mournful melody played on an ancient piano. My heart raced, and I followed the haunting tune to a dimly lit room. The piano played by itself, its keys moving with an otherworldly grace. The room seemed to pulse with a spectral energy, and the temperature dropped even further. Unable to tear my eyes away from the phantom musician, I felt an icy hand on my shoulder. I turned around, but there was no one there. Panic gripped me as the piano's melody transformed into a chilling whisper, recounting tales of tragedy and despair that echoed through the ages. I stumbled backward, desperate to escape the spectral clutches of the mansion. The air became thick with a suffocating malevolence, and the shadows seemed to come alive, swirling and contorting into grotesque shapes. As I reached the front door, it slammed shut with a deafening bang, sealing me within the haunted confines. In the suffocating darkness, I felt a presence closing in, its icy fingers tightening around my soul. The whispers grew louder, and the temperature plummeted to an unbearable cold. I was trapped, entangled in the web of a malevolent force that had long claimed the mansion as its own. To this day, the old mansion stands as a foreboding relic, its haunted halls echoing with the ghostly echoes of a past that refuses to be forgotten. I escaped that night, but the spectral grip lingers, a chilling reminder that some places are better left undisturbed. The small town of Ravenswood held a dark secret, hidden beneath its picturesque facade. I had heard whispers of an abandoned asylum on the outskirts, a place where the walls echoed with the tortured cries of the forgotten. Driven by morbid curiosity, I embarked on a journey to uncover the truth. The asylum loomed on the outskirts like a malevolent fortress, its windows shattered, and its once imposing gates now hanging from rusty hinges. Weeds clawed at the decaying structure, nature reclaiming what was rightfully hers. A cold wind whispered through the desolate grounds, carrying with it the echoes of the tormented souls who had once called this place home. Entering through a broken window, I found myself immersed in the suffocating darkness of the asylum's interior. The air was thick with the stench of decay, and the only sound was the distant drip of water echoing through the desolate hallways. My flashlight barely pierced the oppressive blackness as I navigated the labyrinthine corridors. The asylum seemed frozen in time, as if the very essence of suffering lingered in the air. Flickering lights cast long, ghastly shadows on the peeling wallpaper. The silence was broken only by the occasional creak of the floorboards beneath my hesitant steps. As I delved deeper into the asylum's depths, I stumbled upon a room that sent a chill down my spine. Rusty beds with frayed restraints lined the walls, bearing witness to the unspeakable horrors that had unfolded within. Flickering images of tortured souls materialized in the dim light, their anguished faces etched into the peeling paint. A distant moan reverberated through the corridors, sending shivers down my spine. I followed the haunting sound to a room at the end of a long hallway. The door creaked open, revealing a small, dimly lit chamber. At the center of the room stood an ancient rocking chair, swaying back and forth as if propelled by an invisible force. As I approached, the temperature plummeted, and the air became charged with an unnatural energy. The rocking chair ceased its motion, and an icy whisper echoed through the room, recounting tales of madness and despair. Shadows danced on the walls, forming grotesque shapes that seemed to writhe with malevolence. A sudden gust of wind slammed the door shut, trapping me in the room with the spectral presence. The air became thick with an otherworldly force, and a ghostly figure materialized in the darkness. An ethereal, tortured soul trapped between realms. Its hollow eyes bore into mine, and a guttural moan filled the air. In a desperate attempt to escape, I fumbled for the door, but it remained sealed. The ghostly figure drew closer, its anguished wails echoing through the chamber. The temperature dropped to an unbearable cold, and the room seemed to close in around me. Just as the spectral entity reached out to touch me, the door burst open, and a blinding light flooded the room. I stumbled into the hallway, gasping for breath. The asylum's darkness seemed to retreat, and the tormented whispers faded away. I fled the accursed place, haunted by the knowledge that the asylum's malevolent spirits would forever linger in the shadows. Ravenswood's dark secret remained buried, but the asylum's ghostly inhabitants would forever haunt the memories of those who dared to uncover the truth. The old bookstore on Elm Street was a place that time had forgotten. Its weathered facade concealed shelves upon shelves of forgotten stories and dusty tomes, waiting for a curious soul to uncover the secrets they held. One rainy evening, I found myself drawn to its dimly lit windows and cracked door, a beckoning invitation to explore the unknown. The bell above the door jingled as I stepped into the antique store, and the musty scent of aged paper filled the air. The dim lighting cast long shadows across the stacks of books, each seemingly untouched by human hands for decades. As I perused the titles, a peculiar leather-bound book caught my eye. Its cover, adorned with an intricate pentagram, seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Curiosity overcoming caution, I opened the book to find pages filled with cryptic symbols and esoteric illustrations. The air in the bookstore grew colder as I delved deeper into its mysterious contents. As I reached the last pages, a whispered chant seemed to emanate from the book, its words crawling through my mind like spectral tendrils. Unfamiliar voices echoed around me, and the once still air now hummed with an unsettling energy. Fear gripped my heart, but a morbid fascination kept me turning the pages. With each turn, the room darkened, and an ethereal glow emanated from the mysterious tome. Unseen hands traced patterns in the air, and the temperature dropped to an icy chill. It was as if the boundaries between the mundane and the supernatural were unraveling before my eyes. The chant reached a crescendo, and an icy wind whipped through the bookstore, extinguishing the flickering lights. Shadows danced on the walls, contorting into grotesque shapes that seemed to writhe with a malevolent force. Panic set in as I realized I had unleashed something beyond my understanding. Amid the chaos, a figure materialized at the end of the aisle, a shadowy silhouette with hollow eyes fixated on me. The air grew heavy with a foreboding presence as the figure approached, each step accompanied by an ominous echo. Desperation consumed me as I clutched the cursed book, attempting to reverse the dark ritual I had unknowingly set in motion. The ghostly figure reached out with spectral fingers, its touch sending a shockwave of dread through my veins. Just as the darkness threatened to swallow me whole, the bookstore's lights flickered back to life. The figure dissipated into the shadows, and the eerie whispers faded away. Gasping for breath, I found myself alone amidst the stacks of forgotten books. Terrified and shaken, I stumbled out of the old bookstore, leaving the cursed tome behind. Elm Street returned to its rainy, quiet demeanor, but the echoes of that supernatural encounter lingered in the depths of my nightmares. The old bookstore, forever unchanged, stood as a silent witness to the otherworldly forces that lurked within the pages of that mysterious, leather-bound book.